Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
What is up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones, and in this one, we're finally gonna dig into the Snyder Cut Justice League McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Now, I've been setting this up for quite a while. I have all the figures pretty much ready to go. I am going to be reviewing them and then custom painting them and doing another little video just to show the repaints that I did. Now, I have to be honest, never been a really big live action figure guy. I've collected Batman figures for a long time, going through from the Batman from Mattel to DC Superheroes to DC Universe Classics to Mattel Multiverse, and that is about the time that I kind of got away from collecting a little bit, because I just really didn't like the way Mattel did a lot of runs of just movie figures. I just since I didn't really like live action figures, it just wasn't my taste. So I did miss all of the Suicide Squad figures, the Justice League, the Batman v Superman, and the Aquaman, the Shazam. I just never got into any of that. Now later on, I did go ahead and start picking up some of the Batman and Superman figures, because the black Batman from Batman v Superman is just like one of my favorite Batman figures. I don't know why, I just really like that figure. So that's when I decided to start picking up some other random ones. So I do have some, but I never picked up any of the Aquaman, so I won't have any of those to compare this one to. But I did look them up, and some of them are pretty cool, some of them are pretty bad, but I am ready to jump into these that are McFarlane releases. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. Now, first up is going to be Aquaman, of course played by Jason Momoa. Now actually, he does look rather good in the packaging, so let's go ahead and crack them open and take a look at them. Now, I've seen mixed reviews from people. Some people say this is their favorite one out of the line, and some people say this is the worst they've ever seen. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it, give my thoughts, and we'll see how it goes. Of course, as usual, he does come with your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Now, honestly, it is not needed. He stands just fine, but they are useful sometimes. He also comes with his own data file card. On the front, of course, you have Jason Momoa there as Aquaman, and on the back, you do have a little bit of information. Arthur Curry, pretty cool. We'll add this to the collection. And he does come with one accessory, which is his Trident. Now, I have to honestly say, when I saw reviews of this, they made it seem like if this Trident was really soft and floppy, but now that I actually have it in hand, it's actually pretty sturdy. The only thing I would say is it's a little bit thick. Besides that, it actually looks really good and has a lot of detail. I will be looking up references for this to see what paint I could add to this and to jazz it up, so that'll be pretty fun. But let's go ahead and take a look at the figure. Now, starting off as a whole, right away off the bat, I could tell this is some beautiful, beautiful detailed sculpt work from McFarlane. Just awesome, awesome detailing all over the whole costume. Let's take a look at the head. Now, some people say that they could see Momoa in there, and some people say that this is the worst head sculpt they've ever seen. Honestly, I have to say, when you look at him a certain way, it does kind of give you that Momoa look, but then you turn him a certain way, and yeah, the likeness goes away a little bit. I've seen people put lights, and when the lights go from the top to bottom, it makes shadows on these figures, and then they really do look like the actor that they're supposed to be. We'll get into that when I do my repainting. So besides the likeness, let's look at the hair. Now, I have seen a lot of complaints about the hair, that it's not exactly right because it's all one color and there's supposed to be highlights and different stuff. Like I said before, I get reference points from pictures and stuff, and that's where I'm gonna go start doing my own painting on these figures. But just to start off with, I mean, it's pretty close. Now, he can't look up very well because of his hair, but he kind of does look up. He does look down rather well. You could turn him from side to side, and then you could actually tilt him very slightly, also due to the restrictions from the hair. Now, another thing I noticed is that he does, if you look at it really close, he does have like blue eyes. But if you ever see any pictures of Momoa in the film, he has like really open like aqua blue eyes. So I might be having to get really fine in there and add a little bit lighter blue and make the irises a little bit wider. That way it pops when you look at it, that's the first thing you see, instead of these eyes that are kind of like a little bit small, so it's really hard to notice the blue in the eyes. But it is there, I'll give him that much. But we'll fix that when we customize it. Now look, going down to the armor, just look at that. All the sculpt work they did on that chest, really awesome. Really cool the way it has like all that scaling and line work. Really nice. Now this is a little bit different. When you go down, this is a little bit different abdomen cut. It's more like a shape instead of just like a smooth roundness. This one has more like a little jagged parts on it, but it actually does work. Looking at the belt, he has that classic Aquaman belt. But one thing is that I do know a lot of these parts are supposed to be like really yellow gold, like a high gold. So I'll be repainting all the parts I can find that are supposed to be really gold. So it's going to be pretty fun. But he still has the waist articulation from your typical McFarlane. He can look down a little bit, and actually his abdomen cut goes over his belt so it doesn't really constrict it, and then he can lean back fairly well. Really just the great work we've been seeing from McFarlane is transitioned into these live action figures. Now let's look at the arms. He does have a butterfly joint, and he has these really cool little shoulder guards, but they're just placed right at the top of the shoulder, so when you move up the arm, it actually moves with it, and you could really get like almost straight up. The range of motion in this is just superb. You really hardly see any figures that are like this that actually have shoulder guards, so really good work from McFarlane. He does have a bicep cut. He does have double jointed elbows. And then moving him out, let's take a look at his gauntlets. Really nice gauntlets. Now the gauntlets are floating on the forearm, so you could actually move those back and forward or any which way you would like, and that moves into really beautiful work on those gauntlets. I mean, you have like a fin that's just really nicely sculpted moving into the hands, and of course it has the same ball wrist joint that's actually well hidden, and then you do have tilt. You could turn it, and if you find the line in that ball joint, you get a little bit more articulation. Honestly, from the body so far, this is a really nice figure. Really well sculpted, really well articulated. So we're doing pretty good. Moving down to the legs, let's go ahead and check out his thigh swivel. Now this is a really big thing I always check, and man, this guy has a lot of thigh swivel. You could pretty much turn it about at least 75%, you almost get it all the way back around to the other side. So really, really nice thigh swivel there on this figure. Added to that all the sculpt work they've done on the legs. You could turn them and then cock them up with those double jointed knees. Now he has the same kind of style covers over his boots that are actually floating, that you could turn them still and move them independently from the actual lower leg. Going down to the boots, you can go up and down, you can turn, and then he does have rocker, and then of course he has toe articulation. Really nice lower part of the figure. Really, really beautiful work actually. So I'm actually liking this figure more than I thought I would. I could see where people say this is their favorite figure, even though for me this is like, probably in my mind I thought this is going to be the worst figure because I'm not a big Aquaman fan. Well, live action anyways. But actually it's pretty nice. I'm really enjoying it, really like it. I can't wait to get them repainted with my own touches and then get them up on the shelf. I'm actually going to make a Justice League, you know, display, and I'm probably going to use all clear DC Multiverse flight stands, like the lower parts, all clear for all these figures, and then I'll have Superman in the actual flight stands. So that's going to be pretty fun to start building. Let's go ahead and take a look at him from the bottom. Now he doesn't really have any tread, but he has some identification markings down there. Going up, the same, you know, tedious, beautiful sculpt work. Just awesome, awesome. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a fun time painting all these parts that are supposed to be gold on here. And I've even seen like some metallic high green that's like spaced out throughout the armor. So that's gonna be pretty fun to match. Moving up, somebody made fun that he has this Aquaman symbol on his back, like the back part of the belt, but actually it is film accurate. He does have that in the film, so I don't know what they were making fun of. Going up, he has some really broad shoulders with more detailed sculpt work. Especially love that the way it just like transitions from the upper back into the lower. It has like little markings that are actually, you could line them up and it just looks like some beautiful sculpt work there. Looking at the back of the hair, like I said before, we will be adding some highlights, not necessarily yellow, but more like a golden mixture of yellow with blondish kind of highlights. I'm gonna work on it. I'll get it right and then I'll show it to you guys. But all in all, a really nice figure, actually. I mean, for being the first one that I'm taking a look at, aside from the head sculpt not being perfect, it is rather close. I mean, honestly, have you seen some of the Mattel heads that they did? They're not really that great. Some of them are okay, but it's not like it's ever going to be exactly perfect. You know, this is a $20 figure. What we lose in paint apps and likeness, we probably make up for it in the beautiful sculpt work that's here. Really, really nice figure. Now, you can add the Trident to him. What I've seen a lot of people do is they try and bend all his fingers, like the part of the hand that's like this. But really what you should do is bend the thumb back, and then this should just pop right in there. And then bend the thumb forward again, and there you go. So as you can see, I didn't really struggle to get his Trident in there. Honestly, now that I've seen it up close, I can't wait to get to work on him and then get him up on the Justice League little display that I'm gonna make. Really nice figure. I did see the Snyder Cut, but I only like halfway saw it because I was watching it with other people. But I will be waiting for it to get released on 4K, and then I'm going to rewatch it again and make sure I watch it a couple of times so I could get the full effect. But really happy with this guy. Really surprised at how much I really enjoyed him. And like I said before, I will be working on him and then showing the results of my work. So before we go, let's take a look at him. Now, as I said before, I do not have any other live action Aquaman figures. So let's look at them next to the closest thing, which is the Drowned from the Death Metal. Now, of course, this is my custom repainted Drowned with her accented trident. And then let's take a look at them next to a Batman that I'm building, like from different parts of different McFarlane figures. I don't really have a plan. I'm just like, however it feels cool. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going for, but this is just for scale. And then, like I said before, pretty surprised how much I like this figure. Gonna start working on them. You guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you guys on the next one.